Hello, welcome back to Golden Arrow. Last episode we started World 6 and that gave us access to some rather long arrows. So this episode we're gonna keep playing those and we'll see how far we get. So yeah, we got 5 levels done last episode, moving on to level 6, bow and arrow. Okay. Music. There you go. Okay. So it looks like I want to get these 4 arrows here. Likely I want to use this bow to push the arrows up there. I just want to shove all the arrows in. Can I do that? Can I shove all the arrows in? Maybe. Yeah, I have all the arrows in now. Okay. What if I push this away? The thing is that this arrow can't push up. So I need to be able to get this arrow to go upwards. Okay. That is completely failing. Most moves on the green will fail though. I still need something to hold red up while I do green stuff. So like this sort of move. Possibly. I need red to fall up by 1 exactly. Actually not just by 1, I think by 2. It needs to fall up by 2. Okay. It looks like the ideal move is to go from below green and push it up by 1. But here it's definitely not possible. I suppose a move I can make is to try and... That's interesting. Okay. This is a lot more complicated than I thought it would be. There's a lot of weird stuff here. I know this move gets red to fall upwards, but ideally, what is the trick that I want to get? How would I get red up in the best way? It feels like 1 arrow is the best. Because 1 arrow is going to let me maneuver... 1 arrow will let me maneuver red as I please using a balance that I can control. If I can control how the purple arrow moves, then red arrow is also equally controllable. That also fails, okay. I mean, what does this do again? Right, green arrow is held up by the tail of red. I don't know how good that is. I do see that eventually green is likely to fall this way. Green is a length of 5, so it's a perfect fall, perfect space here. I mean, I do notice that if purple were filled up, sorry, if red were filled up with purple right now, it becomes like a solid block that I can't get any leverage on to push leftwards. So I would have to like be all the way on the complete right side of red, which seems a bit more challenging, considering how green is also in the way. That's a controllable. It's controllable, but... I mean, yeah, I suppose that counts as a controllable. That does allow me to control red. Okay. And this is only occurable if... this can only happen with 1 arrow, because... the other arrows, if they were in here... would meet the problem where they would be the ones holding up red, so red wouldn't be able to fall. So, like, this is ideal, but... you know, well, I guess, yeah, green can be moved down there, but then the red, the other purples are stuck. Okay. Okay, we're getting a lot of dead ends here. How do I want to handle green arrow? Like, this is bad. If I try to get, like, a purple arrow in, I can't do that push anymore. Yeah. I never want to get any of the purples down on the ground, right? Okay. So, like, right now, the best move appears to be this sort of move. But the green arrow is very stuck. I can't get green arrow out. Yeah, it looks really bad. It was. Could I have already handled these arrows? Like you can see the second arrow here. Then red doesn't fall. I can't really like shove all of them in. If I try shoving all of them in right now, the red arrow just won't fall at all. Is this savable? I don't think so. Yeah, and no single move that does that can save red. I suppose one thing I could try to do is use the arrow as a way to hold out red while I do this. I mean, I've done this before. But this lets me move the arrow around. Yeah, I suppose if in some way I could push this arrow all the way up to like hold the arrows up in this area. Well, even if I could, how would I get the arrows back down? Lots of things going on here. I'm really suspicious of this long chamber. Like, I'm pretty sure that has to have some you know, reason to be there. Also, like this big area over here. Why is this here? Why is this area so large? As to be able to hold so much more than just this. Are these 4 cells of any importance to us? I don't know. Yeah, you can like form this sort of move, but not really. It doesn't really help. Okay. Bow and arrow, huh? I don't see anything else I can do here though. I don't really have any like big plan. This gets green to be stuck there. I guess it's not a bad move because yeah, that technically allows me to get green. Yeah, it lets me do this sort of thing. Oh, interesting. That is very interesting. Okay, so if I got the arrows to sort of like be held, I don't like that. This is kind of bad. Could I get the rest of the arrows to behave? Like, I don't know if I don't know if I ever want to have the arrows in the way of the green currently. That doesn't seem very good. But we did realize that this move was very good. We could get rid of green arrow and then also have control of red. Yeah, but I mean, like, the best option we have currently without having to block the way is this. Any further push and we start blocking the way of the green. And the first green push we make already causes this fall, which is really bad for, you know, 2 particular arrows here. And I'm not sure if getting 2 arrows in here. Like, I guess that technically seems to work. But then red is again stuck because one of the arrows is holding it up. In fact, this purple arrow is unsavable. I don't like that. Yeah, I mean, but pushing on green at this point, we'll have to get an arrow down there where it's completely unsavable. I don't like that fact very much. Where can I store the arrows while this happens? I don't know. It seems like the fact that this area is very open seems very interesting to me. But I also sort of do notice that even from here, I can't really like go in here and try and... I can do that to get the arrows. Yeah, I guess. I mean, okay, I suppose a full red bowl here, this wall is supposed to show you that you can like sort of press the red arrow against that indent. And then I can, you know, catch the arrow by this corner and push upwards. So I think that might be somewhat of an important fact. I need to be able to do that. Okay. So I do want a green arrow to be thrown away. I don't think I want a green arrow here at all. Did I got one arrow in here? I got one arrow in here, I think. Ah, I don't like that. How did I get an arrow in here? I managed to push downwards, I think. It was this with a downward push. Yeah. I love that this move is a thing. If I try to move this balance out of the way, green arrow, I don't know how savable green arrow actually is. Because in theory, oh no, red arrow can be pushed up here. I'll say green arrow is savable in this case, but maybe not. Because yeah, how are you gonna save green arrow in this case? How are you gonna get green arrow out? I was thinking if I could push it up and over, but no. This down push is really bad, isn't it? I really don't know if it's ever possible to get an arrow in there. Because this move is really bad. I don't know if I can save the arrows from that. Like, is there any reason that this is good? Like, I mean, I guess it's possible I could have already shoved every arrow in here. In that case, then a move like this would be fine. But then, you know, for obvious reasons, this is very stuck. I don't know how it saved that. Like, I just cannot get any purple arrow in here, right? Right? Well, yeah, this push is bad. Because I was trying to get maybe, like... what am I trying to do? An interesting move could be an attempt to... like, yeah, you know, attempt to put some, like, stack 3 arrows here or something like that. Just checking. How much space do I have? Like, if arrows can't be in this column at all, then, like, there are exactly 4 spaces here for arrows. Although I couldn't get in otherwise, like... I suppose, interestingly enough, this push does cause a fall. This push does not cause a fall. I can't push up from here. I wonder what happens if I could push up from here. I mean, if I could push up from here, then green is already gonna fall through. That's a slightly better setup because these arrows aren't stuck inside. But this arrow is still stuck inside and there's no way to get it out, so there's always gonna be some sort of balance in the way. So I don't want to get any arrow within these 4 spaces, I think. I want it to be some empty space that I can try and use to push stuff up. I don't know if I can pull that off right now. Like, is this good? Yeah, no, this is somewhat good. Okay, so then what can happen is... Okay. I can push this arrow up. But it doesn't get me anywhere. It does save this. I was gonna try and maybe... Interesting move. Okay. If I got that to happen with a double arrow... Where can the other two arrows be? I need to get in here though. Like... this move is so bad, but it pulls up... Right, because... Red is unhindered, so red falls up 1 while purple arrow falls down by 2. If I... Okay, hold on. If I push this up by 1, that forms a balance between green and purple, right? Doesn't that mean that I can basically try and simulate the exact same thing here? Okay, that's interesting. But any push in this direction still causes the same thing that I don't want. This causes... Okay. Interesting. If I push this up by 1, that's bad for both of those arrows. Can't push up there. That's an interesting move that I tried just now but didn't really get to work. That doesn't work at all. That basically just reverses whatever I tried. I mean, yeah, that reverses everything I tried. What does that do? That also reverses everything I've tried. Okay. What can I do from here? I can still do this. That saves all the arrows actually, somehow. And so this sort of move should be available. If I got all of these arrows out of the way, I can push up. And that seems to do something. Okay, we still don't want any arrow... Ooh. I don't think I still want any... I still don't think I want any arrow in here. Unless this is available. Because this gets this arrow to be stuck on me. Which may be okay. But... Yeah, then if I try to move away, then that sucks. I guess, again, I could pull you. And I think I could just push the arrows... Yeah, I could push the entire setup upwards from here. Because now I have enough space to move on, and I think we're done. Oh, wow, what a set of moves. So I just had to, like, fidget around with the green arrow and find a way to get the purple arrow to be in this area, which is why there's such a big area up here for my traversal. Get all the arrows into this area while green is being held up by red, and then there's a lot of balances in play. And then I need to be able to hold all the greens up in this area. So now the purples fall here, and then after that I need to be able to, like, you know, yeah, play around, and I think that's it. Jeez. Okay. Tetris. Tetris, but every block here is a 3-size block. That's not a tetromino, that's a tromino. Or triomino, I think. Okay, and we somehow need to be able to traverse, or allow purple to traverse all the way up there. Okay, first idea is to get it to hook onto something. So maybe like... blue and red are the exact same shape, by the way. One just falls in one direction, the other in the other direction. Red is a bit more helpful here because... Well, no. If purple on blue, I think that's also a balance. Because purple can't fall because it's held on my blue, but blue is also held on my purple at the same time. I wonder what would happen then. They both can't fall. I think they just stick in the same place. Yeah. Okay, so both are allowed to be a hook here, but the idea is I sort of want a hook there. I need to be able to push this entire setup out. And then something like this. Okay. I can traverse this way to get purple out of the way. Ish. I don't think I like that right now. I think... what do I want? This move? Maybe? I want to be able to push down, but purple is now in the way. Right? Yeah, purple has always been in the way. Okay. What if there was space? What if purple and red were not stuck together? Ooh, okay. But they have to be stuck together in some way. This is the best they can do without sticking to each other. If you try and separate them in any other way, they just fall against each other or away from each other. Okay. I don't suppose there's any way to get blue to be the one here, right? Blue is pretty traversable itself as well, because like I can kind of move blue by balancing itself on me. So if I could somehow get this set up here, I don't know if I like that move because blue is completely stuck afterwards. Maybe I don't want that at all, which means that I could never have pushed blue in this direction. If I try to push blue away, it just falls there, and then unless something holds it up, you know, that something could be this thing. I see something like that being plausible. Okay, green is now currently a problem though. I could hold green up in here. That actually almost just completely gets green to be broken. We have a lot of problems. Okay. Right now the entire structure is just completely unmovable. So the first step does have to be this move. That is not a balance I can create. So then the next step has to be this move. That's a balance I can make. I can also make a balance like this. So I have two options. This option allows a separation between green and blue, and I'm not sure if that's good or not. Sorry I'm talking a bit fast here. I hope I'm not talking too quickly. I really want purple to go away right now. But purple can't go away without being... Yeah, purple just can't go away. Jeez. Let's just stick you guys together first. I think we've already tried this before. If they go away, purple gets stuck there. I suppose that's somewhat of a balance I could create. Not really. Like, yeah, I could balance. If purple could get down here, I would need to be able to be in this position. So it's like I have to hold up purple by the arrow point. So like... I have to be able to push you away and also be underneath purple. That doesn't seem very feasible. That doesn't seem very feasible at all. Yeah, because then that happens. That always happens. Okay. How feasible is green? Green is completely not feasible as a stepping stone for purple here, I don't think. All other options seem... Actually, red doesn't seem very good for this job either. Because if red were being held here as a hole for purple to stand on, a platform, how is it going to be held up? It could be held up by purple. You know what? Can I form a balance that looks like that? Try this. No. I want this move. I want red to be on the tip of purple. Like the two arrow tips, I want them to point to each other. I don't know if that's feasible. It doesn't seem very easy to pull off, at the very least. Because unless it can be held up by something... Could it be held up by something? I don't know if it can. Then the other option is blue. Blue has a slightly better chance because blue can actually be stood on this block here. I'm not sure if in some way I can get this to happen. I mean, this looks feasible. And then, you know, in some way I suppose I could try and get blue out like this. That also gets it stuck. Yeah, I don't think I like that a lot. I don't like that either. Ooh, okay. I have some very interesting issues with this area right now. I don't know what I want. I can already separate these two, but separating might not be my best move. Also, separating also gets this red to be not in a very feasible, I mean, desirable position. Although there are other ways I can resolve this. I could, for example, move this entire setup over. That interestingly gets purple there. That should still be accessible though. If I manage to get myself inside this area, I could pull purple up from here. So we're not entirely dead, but yeah, and then purple could like rest on this arrow, which gives me space to move it over. Okay, like let's just say I got rid of everything else first and tried to go in to save purple. or save myself some space. That seems like a problem. A problem that might be a bit more challenging to resolve. Because what next? I could try and get blue in here, even though that would also be a challenge on its own because... Well, I guess in some way I could try and first separate these guys. They seem at least somewhat separable. So yay! I got blue in here. Also, this is just bad. What is that? That's not good. That's not good at all. What? Okay. That's not good either. Okay, so I don't want that. I don't want that push. Ooh, okay. I mean, yeah, we'll just leave that there first. That is another problem. But the current problem is that even if I could do this, I can't push this way. Pushing this way only allows me to push here, which then gets purple to be not held up. Yeah, like this just gets purple stuck. Okay. Okay. Yeah, purple does seem like a big problem. The long purple. Blue can do that. If I could get blue to do this, could I separate the two? In theory, yes. By pressing against the blue arrow's point. Could separate them, yes. But okay. Like then purple can't be stood up here then. Where else can purple be? Here? How can I perform that? Like that's kind of tough, right? Because I can't really do anything with purple now. I can't push it over. I mean, it's like this also doesn't really work. I can do that. How do you get purple out of the way? How do I get green and blue to point towards each other? They're probably not in this exact same configuration. Yeah, these two can point towards each other because they point in opposite direction. I mean, the arrows aren't like rotationally symmetrical. So like they don't have this problem where they're like in a constant standoff. Or this constant Ouroboros. Why don't you get other things? Purple just doesn't seem very nice to me right now. Like I don't know how I would get purple to resolve itself. I suppose this could save purple, or could it? If I could keep pushing red over, I think yeah, purple could be here. But like this setup is pretty tough to pull off because I would need more space. It's like green has to be out of the way. Green could be out of the way. So could blue, somewhat. Well, but this out of the way isn't really out of the way. Okay. And then like the next best move is maybe trying to push this up here. But no, still not gonna be enough for green to get in here. Could green ever make this area? I mean, it's somewhat feasible, right? If green fit into here... No, because then like how would I get in? Also, green would then just fall. And so green is never going to be able to be in here without much issue. I mean, unless green was being held up by something else. But at that point, then like, what's the point? There's just too many things in the way of holding that up. We'll do this first. This is always a reversible move. Because I can always do this and then push that setup back up. So like, this is technically a little bit better for me. I realized one move that I never tried was pushing like this, which will get green somewhat out of the way, although not by too much. That gets everything stuck. I don't like this. If green were actually out of the way in this scenario, what happens next? Red can do this. Red will fall though, so like, yeah, this is kind of a problem as to why Red couldn't really be a platform here. It would have to have been held up by something else. And this other thing that's being held up by, I don't actually know how I'm gonna resolve this. Like, could you actually get purple and red to not do this kind of thing? Where they kind of just dance around each other? I don't think so, unless you can like... If you could hold it up with another... If you could like hold it up. Like, if you could do this... Maybe then I could remove purple. I can't really remove purple in this case, but... You kind of get the idea, right? Not really. That kind of just already would have worked. I suppose if purple were the one being held up. Like, if they were separated a bit more. Maybe if blue were holding it up, like, by having something be stuck in there. But how would I get that to pull off? Like, that space would have been available beforehand. They both need to be held up by something, otherwise they just fall against each other. And even if one were held up, then the other one would... Yeah, so they need to be both held up. For me to be able to like, get them across each other horizontally and point their points at each other. I can get green across. This is not a very good idea. Their points... I do realize that an interesting fact is that in theory you might be able to get what could you do? I was thinking like there could be a lot of balances available here. The one I'm looking at right now is the red and blue balance. If red and blue are balanced, I mean the promise is the same, right? Both of them need to be balanced with something. So like there has to be something on this side to hold up purple, which is the big problem. I don't know if I can actually pull that off. If I were to somehow shove this stack there, could that do anything? Maybe. I don't like this move at all. This move just looks really bad. But, you know, doesn't really help. Ooh. Ooh, what is this? What is that? I mean, yeah, I guess. That's a balance. This balance isn't really operable though. So I can still do something like this. I can do this to like release blue and get it down here. Okay. I could also get that to happen while purple was being held up in like a vertical 2x3 instead. So this is a valid move. And then I can push away. Yep, okay. Ooh, but I wouldn't be able to push down. Right, so purple is still blocking the way here. Okay. So purple was blocking the way in both scenarios. Okay. Yeah, that's a real problem, I think. Can I save myself from here? No, I think blue is gone. I don't think this will save it. This might save it. These are just in a very awkward position right now. Like, I guess, yeah, in this case, we might still be it might still be somewhat savable. But, no, I don't think it's savable. You can, like, barely operate on this. No. What in the world? How did I just do that? Also, is this still workable? I shoved all the arrows in a corner. I mean, it looks... It doesn't look operable anymore. Because I want to push up this way. So like this just gets you stuck in a corner, I don't think. But yeah, I think our theory works where these two arrows just balance each other out. Green should have probably not been in there, but how else could green have done this? Green has always been on the left side of blue, so I find it very hard to swap them around. One way I could have swapped them around was up top. So like here I do something like... yeah, but this swap... Okay. This move... followed by this move. Ooh, but... yeah, okay, so how does blue... That's a move, but I do not like that move one bit. Yeah, I don't like that move at all. Okay. There is no way they could have swapped positions here. This is surprising, but it's also surprisingly bad. I could hook myself underneath so I have some control over blue here. This is a balance. Oh, okay. Getting a bit further now. It's not a workable balance still. Okay, but if blue were one up, could it be held up in place here? No. Okay, if green were... well, green could have been one up either. Okay, yeah, because this push is bad, right? Although I could perform a balance like that. What am I trying to do? Oh, you know what? I can just shove this over across, which means that this green could have just been pushed away like this. Okay. I see there's a balance between purple and blue here, but... oh, but I don't want to get rid of it. Or I don't want to so abruptly get rid of it. So I want to be able to not have the balance happen. I think if you were one further out, it would have been fine. Yes. Okay, this looks like a better, slightly better way of doing it. Although I still see some problems. Some problems being that the top part of the room is just very congested now. Yeah, how in the world am I gonna get that out? So like... but... no, but how... okay, so... if green won't push that far up first, if green was still savable... so if that were to happen... I don't like this. I'm just shoving these arrows around. I mean... yeah, that's a balance. That's a balance that allows green to still be freed. But the fact that green can be freed doesn't mean it's necessarily good, because... like, how will green be freed? What is even balancing green right now? Is it this hook over here? So like this should get green to be not freed. Or maybe that's good. Maybe I want green to not be stuck there. Ah no, green definitely should not be stuck there. Ah jeez, what? No, that's not good either. Where do I want the other arrows? Like, I guess if there was some way to somehow get... ooh, that's interesting. That is very interesting. Or that's fairly interesting, I guess. Nope, not good. Okay. No. That's really bad. Well, what am I doing, honestly? Like, how good is this, or how bad is this? I kind of find it a little bit hard to believe that this rectangle is good. It's not, it's barely maneuverable. It's not maneuverable. Like, you can move it around back and forth, but overall it's just really bad for me as well. Where could I have stored green arrow at this point? I don't ever want to push green arrow this way, right? Okay, I don't think this is very good. I don't think this is very good at all. And by I don't think this is very good, I think like we're getting very held up on that fact that purple and red were up there. I mean, I was thinking if red were like here. I really don't like purple being here, but like... So like this move just feels very good to hold purple in place, right? I think so. At least it feels like it. Although I can't entirely be sure about that fact. Where is red going with this? Red isn't going anywhere with this. Okay, hold on. How'd I get this set up before? I think it was something that looked like this, maybe? That looked okay-ish. But then red is still stuck. Okay, that's still savable. Okay, so like this, yeah, this gets these arrows there. That might be a slightly better holding spot, but we still get the same problem, don't we? Where if I tried to get green to somehow, not green, blue. If I got blue, you know. I think we did this before, didn't we? This purple, the spot for the purple long arrow is just really bad. Because this push, like just, red is just dead, I think. Oh, not red, the small purple arrow is just gone. There's no way I could have saved this. Can't push over this way. I don't think this is savable. This move is bad. Yeah, okay, purple doesn't want to be there. So what if red were here and purple were here? Are we just trying random places now? I think that still fails one of the main issues we had though. But purple has to get past. They have to get past each other for that to happen. Like for red to get up here, purple has to do something weird. Also, purple's gonna fall anyway, so like. Maybe that's fine. Okay, so however we did that last thing, I kind of forget. Is it like this? No. It's like where I did. I don't know what I did. I don't know what I was doing to get to that. I think it was this. This? No. It was further back. It was like this and like that. But also not really. Because, yeah, I don't know how I'm getting... Oh, what am I doing? What am I doing? I don't think I like that either. Yep, nope, I kind of forgot what I did already. Uh-oh. It was a very complicated set of moves to be able to get purple and red to be disconnected from each other. But purple had to be in this column, red had to be in one column over, but then they had to both be still accessible without being blocked by green or blue. Might have been a move like that. No. That's not valid. That was possibly valid. Just kidding, that was not valid at all. How did I do that? Yeah, how did I do that? I needed to be... Maybe blue and red needed some balance. I forget exactly what happened. That was a balance I could have done. Not a great balance. Yeah, I'm kind of not really doing this very well right now. I have like no clear direction on what I'm trying to do. There's no clear direction at all. That looks okay-ish. Okay, I mean this is separated because blue is holding up red, but purple is also being held up in a balance, so that gets this separation available. This move sucks, but is green arrow is still accessible from here. I don't know what blue is doing because blue is now stuck. Blue will always be stuck, I think. So unless I didn't push the two arrows together at that point in time. But if I got green, yeah, then yeah, blue arrow kind of has to do this, right? Well, not necessarily. I think red could have done that. So red could have already gone past at this point, making blue accessible as well. Okay, and if blue is accessible, then we can... Well, then what can we do? Purple is gonna be like this if blue is to be moved away. I don't know if that's a good thing or not. It doesn't seem like a very good thing to me. Can't just leave blue alone like this, because this also gets it stuck. Maybe green arrow has to do something now. This holds purple arrow up, also holds blue arrow up, so I can somehow do this sort of thing and try and get them apart. Green arrow is now just completely stuck. I don't think I ever wanted green arrow in that sort of spot. Okay, you know what? No, let's just do this first. Green arrow... I don't know what green arrow is gonna do because green arrow is just stuck there. Unless it's held up by something. Which it can be held up by, but with much trouble. Okay. Kind of... no. Very bad. See, if I manage to get purple to be pushed over... Okay. So I want purple to fall by 1. Falling by 2 is acceptable because I want to push it up. But how do I push purple over now? I cannot push purple over because the red is in the way. It just seems like green is not going to help either. Can green ever form like a balance? Okay, that's a balance because green's tail is balanced with purple's point. It does not make anything more pushable though. Although I suppose... Okay, like, we got some balances going on. That's a balance. That's not a very workable balance. Okay, I don't think we're getting anywhere with this. If I have to be really honest, I don't think we're getting anywhere with this. Red's just very in the way as well. I'm gonna have to think about this next time because I don't think I'm really going through the right motions of solving the puzzle. So yeah, I think that's gonna be it for this episode. Half solved Tetris puzzle. Yeah, okay, I guess that's gonna be it. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. See you guys next time. Bye bye.